Very good morning all the students. In this week we have periodic test. The syllabus for periodic test is electrostatics, current electricity, electric potential and capacitors. Based on these concepts, let me discuss some of the problems which were asked in recent competitive exams like JEE Mains. Here, the first question, it is given in 2020 JEE Main, JEE 2020. The question is like this: effective capacitance of parallel combination effective capacitance of parallel combination of two capacitors C1 and C2 is 10 microfarad. When these capacitors are individually connected to a voltage source, of 1 volt, voltage source of 1 volt, the energy stored in the capacitor C2 is the energy stored in capacitor C2 is 4 times that of C1. If these capacitors are connected in series, their effective capacitance will be this is the question. They gave answers as 4.2 farads, 8.4 microfarad, sorry it is also microfarad. Third option has 3.2 microfarad. Fourth option has 1.6 microfarad. This is the question. We need to solve this question. The solution is quite simple. When two capacitors are connected in parallel combination, so parallel combination means effective capacitance in parallel combination. C1 plus C2 will be the effective capacitance in C effective in parallel combination. They gave this value as 10 microfarad. They said that the energy stored in capacitor C2 is, energy stored formula is half CV square. This is the general formula, or you can write Q square by 2C like that. So energy stored in second capacitor is 4 times of energy stored in first capacitor, which means half into C2 into the voltage across the second capacitor. As they are connected in parallel, both are having same voltage, C2V square is equal to 4 times of half C1 V square. So this is the condition given to us. So here V square gets cancelled, half gets cancelled, C2 is equal to 4C1. This is equation number 1, this is equation number 2. Two variables are there, C1 and C2. We have two equations, so we can solve them. So when we solve them, you will get how to solve. You substitute it here in the place of C2 from 1 C1 plus C2 means 4C1, that is equal to 10 microfarad. 5C1 is equal to 10 microfarad. C1 is equal to 2 microfarad. Once C1 becomes 2 microfarad, C2 must be 8 microfarad. Now, they are connected in series. In series, C effective in series combination is given by C1 C2 by C1 plus C2. So 2 into 8 by 2 plus 8, that is 16 by 10, 1.6 microfarad. This is the answer. In this question, we revised 3 formulae. Effective capacitance in parallel combination of two capacitors is C1 plus C2. In parallel combination, both the capacitors possess same voltage. They gave V value as 1 volt, even though both are having same value, so they are getting cancelled here. Effective capacitance in series combination is C1 C2 by C1 plus C2. So by knowing the 3 formulae, we can solve this question very easily. By knowing 3 formulae, we can solve this question very easily. One more question let us discuss from same 2020 JEE Mains. The question is like this. This question is from electrostatics chapter. So in finding electric field using Gauss law, the formula mod E bar is equal to Q enclosed by epsilon naught A is applicable. In the formula, epsilon naught is permittivity of free space. In the formula, epsilon naught is permittivity of free space. A is the area of Gaussian surface. A is the area of Gaussian surface, and Q enclosed is charge enclosed in Gaussian surface. Charge enclosed in Gaussian surface. This equation can be used in the following situation. this equation can be used in the following situation. So this is the question, and they gave the options like this. First option, only when Gaussian surface is an equipotential surface. Second option, only when mod E bar is constant on the surface. Third option, only when Gaussian surface is equipotential surface and E is constant on the surface. And mod E bar is constant on the surface. Fourth option, for any choice of Gaussian surface, so this is the question. As per the question, whatever information they provided, we studied in the theory part. Based on the theoretical knowledge, we should answer this question. Before to answer this question, we should know the definition of Gauss law, terms involved in the Gauss law, and also we should know the nature of Gauss law, and we should know the definition of equipotential surface. Based on all these ideas, we can answer this question. So try to solve this question now. The solution for this question is quite simple. We already know that electric field strength at a particular distance r from the charge. Suppose here Q is the charge available. At a distance r from the charge, if you want electric field strength at a point is given by 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q by r square. As the magnitude of charge is fixed, as the distance is fixed, electric field is fixed at a fixed distance. Suppose if you consider a Gaussian surface, so on this Gaussian surface, each and every point is at a fixed distance from the fixed charge. So at individual points, the strength of electric field is a fixed value. At individual points, the strength of electric field is a fixed value. And one more point, equipotential surface means the surface over which the potential is constant and the work done is zero for moving a charge from one point to another point. Each and every point should have constant potential. The value of potential is given by 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q by R. Now, in this given problem, strength of electric field is given by 1 by epsilon naught times charge enclosed within the surface. Okay. Now, this equation is applicable in case of electric field strength at a particular point is fixed. Even when electric field is fixed, electric potential is also fixed at that point. Electric field is fixed means electric potential is also fixed at that point. Hence, only when Gaussian surface is equipotential surface and E is constant on the surface. Both the statements are true, hence I am opting the third option. The fourth option is wrong. For any choice of Gaussian surface is wrong. Gaussian surface may have any shape, but on the particular point on the Gaussian surface, the value of electric field and electric potential should be constant. So this is the solution for this question. Now we will see one question based on potentiometer. That means this question belongs to current electricity lesson. The question is like this. It is also asked in same JEE 2020 mains paper. The question is like this. The length of potentiometer wire is (120 centimeters) and it carries a current of 60 milliamperes. For a cell of EMF 5 volts, and internal resistance of 20 ohms, the null point on it is found to be at 1000 centimeters. The resistance of whole wire is This is the question. They gave options as 60 ohms, 120 ohms, 100 ohms, fourth option 80 ohms. So these are the options given to us for this question. So we need to have the solution. Before having the solution, you first recollect the knowledge related to the concept of potentiometer and how the potentiometer is used for finding of internal resistance. How can you compare the EMFs of two cells by using potentiometer? These concepts should be revised. So after revision of these concepts, you can solve this problem. Let us see the procedure of solving the problem now. The solution is like this. As per the question, if I draw the figure, this is the primary circuit, this is the potentiometer wire, very long wire, but I am representing it simply with letter AB. And it is the secondary circuit. The secondary circuit is having resistance like this. It is connected to galvanometer galvanometer is connected here. Okay. So the voltage given in the primary circuit is called primary voltage. The voltage in the secondary circuit, they gave 5 volts with internal resistance 20 ohms, and the length of the null point means the galvanometer is showing 0 reading, no current is passing through the galvanometer wire. In that case, the length of this wire is 1000 centimeters. The length of the wire is 1000 centimeters, and the strength of the current passing through it is 60 milliamperes. 60 milliamperes. So overall length of the wire is 1200 centimeters. In question you correct it as 1200. Overall length of the wire is 1200 centimeters. Balancing point or null point is observed at 1000 centimeters. The strength of the current passing through the wire by that moment is 60 milliamperes. Now we are interested to find the resistance of the whole wire. Resistance of the wire. Resistance of the wire is how much? So now you tell me the formula for solving this question. So this is a very simple question. Here clearly on 1000 centimeters the voltage dropped is 5 volts. Because it is a null point, that means it is at 0 volt potential. So the potential difference between these 2 points is 5 volts. 5 volts potential is dropped over 1000 centimeters. We know that potential gradient phi is equal to potential dropped per unit length. So 5 volts, sorry, this is 5 volts, it's not 5 ohms. This is 5 volts. 5 volts is the potential dropped over 1000 centimeters. If you consider the entire wire, the potential difference between AB, if suppose it is VP, it should be dropped over 1200 centimeters. VP is the potential difference between the points A and B. So the length of the wire is 1200 centimeters. Gradient should be same. So these two zeros will go. VP is equal to 5 into 12 by 10, 60 by 10. So potential drop across points A and B is 6 volts. You need the resistance of the wire. Resistance is equal to potential drop by current. According to Ohm's law, V is equal to IR. Potential drop is 60 by current is 60 milliamperes, that is 10 power minus 3. These two will go 10 cube ohms. 10 cube, sorry, it is 6 volts and 6 volts. So then it is 6, it will go for 10 times. So 10 square ohms, nothing but 100 ohms. 100 ohms is the answer for this question. 100 ohms is the answer for this question. So in this question, we should understand whenever the question is asked based on potentiometer, potential gradient means potential drop over unit length. It should be constant. When you take from here to here, the length is 1000 centimeters, the potential drop is 5 volts. If you take from here to here, the length is 1200 centimeters, the potential drop is VP. So this is called potentiometer wire. AB is called potentiometer wire. So this potentiometer wire is provided with 6 volts potential difference through which 60 milliamperes current is passing. Hence resistance of the wire is 100 ohms. It is very simple question. One more question from current electricity chapter asked in JEE 2020 mains paper. So question is very simple. The question is like this: four resistances of 15 ohms, 12 ohms, 4 ohms and 10 ohms respectively in cyclic order. To form Wheatstone network. The resistance that is to be connected in parallel with the ten ohm resistance to balance the network is. This is the question. It is an integer answer question. Very simple question it is. We studied about Wheatstone bridge. Wheatstone bridge consists of 4 resistors, and if you join the external power supply or source through 2 terminals, remaining 2 terminals are connected with galvanometer, means if the current passing through the galvanometer is 0, then bridge is said to be balanced. And for that purpose, the resistors should follow order P by Q is equal to R by S. So this is the idea we studied about Wheatstone bridge. Here, as per the given question, the 4 resistors are 15 ohms, 12 ohms, 4 ohms and 10 ohms. They are like this. They are in cyclic order. The 4 resistors that are forming the bridge are like this. First one is 15 ohms, second one is 12 ohms, 4 ohms and 10 ohms. So if the supply is given between these 2 terminals, galvanometer must be connected between other 2 terminals. If we make current passing through the galvanometer is 0, then bridge is said to be balanced. For that balancing condition to achieve, the ratio of these 2 resistors must be equal to ratio of these 2 resistors. So in order to have such a combination, we need to attach some resistance in parallel to 10 ohms resistance. Let R is the resistance connected in parallel to the 10 ohms resistance. Then effective resistance of these 2 in parallel combination, R effective in parallel combination is R1 R2 by R1 plus R2 as per this 10 into R by 10 plus R is the effective resistance. In order to make or keep this bridge balanced, ratio of these 2 must be equal to the ratio of these 2. Otherwise, product of these 2 must be equal to product of these 2. Anything you can write. Product of these 2 means 15 into 4 must be equal to product of these 2. Here effective resistance is 10R by 10 plus r into here 12. It will go for 3 times, it will go for 5 times, it will go for 2 times. 2r is equal to 10 plus r is equal to 10 ohms. The resistance that is to be connected here to keep the balance of the bridge is 10 ohms. Very simple question. So by knowing the theory clearly, you can solve the problem very easily. Very, very simple question. This is a CBSE board exam 2014. It's a question asked for 2 marks. It is a question asked for 2 marks. Let us see. There is an electric field of strength. There is an electric field of strength 5 into 10 cube I cap Newton per coulomb. If E bar is equal to 5 into 10 cube I cap Newton per coulomb, find the flux of this field. Find the flux of this field through a square of square of 10 centimeters on a side whose plane is making an angle, or whose plane is parallel to YZ plane. Parallel to YZ plane. What would be the flux through the same square? If the plane makes 30 degrees angle with the x-axis. This is the question. Solution very simple. E bar is given as 5 into 10 cube I cap, and side of the square plane is 10 centimeters. Area is side square, that is 100 centimeters square. If you convert it into meters, 100 into 10 power minus 4, that is 10 power minus 2 meters square. Now, if you want to represent this A as vector 10 power minus 2, this is YZ plane. Normal to this plane is x-axis. This is YZ. If the given plane is in YZ axis or in YZ plane, x-axis will be normal to that. So in this direction unit vector is I cap. So the direction of this area vector is nothing but A cap is nothing but I cap. You can write it as I cap. Flux is equal to E bar dot A bar. So you can write 5 into 10 cube I cap dot 10 power minus 2 I cap. I dot I is 1, so it is 5 into 10 cube into 10 power minus 2. So 50 Webers is the flux passing in the first case. In the second case, the plane of the coil is making 30 degrees. If plane is making 30 degrees, its normal will make, A bar will make 60 degrees, which is nothing but 90 minus 30 with electric field. So angle between E bar and A bar is 60 degrees. Plane of the coil is making 30 means its normal will make 60 degrees. So flux in the second case is given by E bar dot A bar, nothing but EA cos 60. Magnitude of E is 5 into 10 cube. Magnitude of A is 10 power minus 2. Cos 60 is cos 60 1 by 2. So it becomes 50 by 2, 25 Webers. That is the solution for the given question. Very simple.